Prost to myself and Nick Whitmer. We are in the middle of Oktoberfest. You know what else is flowing besides the beer, Nick Whitmer? Free goddamn money. That's what's
You're goddamn
flowing.
right.
19-12 last week, 45-35 on the year. Two monster weeks in a row after the early slide, schneid, whatever you call it. Kevin Gootee, Nick Whitmer, Fantasy Football Jibber Jabber, week 4. We got a lot of plays, got a lot of fantasy plays and avoids. But Nick,
coming off a 19-10 week myself, total of 48, 28 and 1, 62%. Just, you're listening to this, it's Free Money Friday, right? Just listen to our bets and you'll win free money.
Oh, you can't.
It's just that easy.
It is that easy. Speaking of easy, by the way, I always laugh at your Sheba Mason quips. They always put a smile on my face.
Oh yeah,
that's funny. Why don't we kick off with tonight's
She's
game?
a football fan. She's gonna listen to this.
Yeah, I hope so. Then we'll make her act like her dad, who never identified her and gave her money growing up.
Jeez. Thursday night football. The Lions at the Packers. The Packers are now getting 2.5 of the total of 45.
What? That's skyrocketed.
Yeah. This game reeks as like a close game to me. I think I like the Lions to win, but I don't like laying points on Thursday night football, especially divisional favorites on the road. But the Packers are 3-0 against the spread. And since 2005, teams that are 3-0 against the spread in week 4, when they're an underdog, are only 4-13 against the spread. That's 24%. So what I ended up doing is and I know you did this as well, I teased Green Bay when it was 2 to Green Bay getting 8, along with the Rams getting 7.5. And I got the under in this game, 46 as well. And I think that's all I have for this one. Well, I actually have a parlay, but I'll tell you about when you do yours. It's kind of a wacky thing. I never do this, but I need to bring it up first. So you go ahead with what you got.
You sound like a college girl at her first fraternity party. I never go back with a random guy. I never go back with a random guy. I never do one night stands. Oh,
it's just I never do teasers. I never tease totals. I just never do that. This time's different though.
Yeah, you're gonna call me. This is not gonna be a one night stand. I actually had one girl. She goes, "I've never done a one night stand before." She calls me the next day and she's like, "I'm gonna come over," and we bang. And then she goes, "Yeah, see, I told you I never have a one night stand." I go, "Okay, well, semantics. You win." So
yeah,
who cares?
Night stand.
Let's talk Green Bay. You're right. I also teased the Green Bay Packers. I have them. I got them at 1.5. I got them a moment late, I guess, after you. I have them to plus 7.5, as well as with the Seattle Seahawks to plus 8. But I've got a fantasy play for you as well. Everyone knows, everyone and their grandmother knows Jared Goff is a monster at home, but on the road, little Cinderella coach turns into a pumpkin. Blah. He has scored 16.8 points or less in 12 out of his last 13 road games. How many points do you think he scored last year when they played in Green Bay to knock them out of playoff contention?
20?
9.5.
Oh, his points. I thought you meant Detroit's points.
Yes. He scored 9.5. He's not good. How many do you think he scored against Kansas City week 1 this year?
9.6.
He scored 16 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Packers are allowing an average of 18 fantasy points of QBs. You're going to spend $6,300 for him? No, I am not. What I am going to do is for $1,500 more, I'm going to go get out the guy who's going to face the goddamn worst defense of all of them. Justin Herbert playing at home against the Vegas Raiders, 7,800. That is what I'm going to do. I don't care. Mike Williams is out. They can put me or you in there at wide receiver. He's still going to throw for 350 and 3. I think that's an absolute lock, and I'm with you on the Detroit under. 4 out of the last 5 for the Lions have gone under. 6 out of 9 Green Bay against Detroit under. So that number I think you said you got it at 46. I got it at 45.5. I waited again a tick too late, but I'm with you on that as well. And we also have that pretty bonkers parlay too. We should talk about.
Yeah, that one too. We'll save that one for when I'm done here because I don't have that in front of me. But so week 4 unders only hit since 2000 2015. I'm trying to get that number. It was like unders are only like 40 some percent week 4 since 2015. But divisional unders in week 4, 27-11 against the spread.
That's nuts.
So this is a divisional game. I took the under 46. I still like it at 45.5, and now it's 45. I'd still probably play it at 45, but obviously I like the 46. So what I ended up doing, and I never do this. I never do this. I did a 3-team 7-point teaser on 3 divisional games that just reek of unders this week. So I got the Green Bay Detroit game for tonight teased up to 52.5. Baltimore and Cleveland teased up to 47.5, and Tampa Bay, New Orleans teased up to 47.5. And I took all those unders. So this is an experiment for me, playing the divisional unders for week 4 trend. Hopefully that hits, because that would be pretty bonkers. I've never actually done. I don't, like I said, I never do this. I don't like to tease totals because there's so much variance in games where one person, picks 6, all of a sudden the total's ruined, or the score's ruined, rather, or the total.
Give that again. You said it's Detroit, Cleveland, and who else?
Green Bay, Detroit under 40 or under 52.5. Baltimore, Cleveland under 47.5, and Tampa Bay, New Orleans under 47.5.
I may actually steal that. And that's plus money?
Yeah, I believe it was plus 130.
All right. I may fuck around with that for a little bit too. Cool. That's game number 1. What do you have? What's next on the slate there, Vanna White?
What's the single game parlay we threw in tonight?
Sam Laporta over 4.5 catches. Also, Luke Grove, whatever. I know that Casey 25. 25 on the alt line. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, I believe it's 81.5 receiving. Does that sound right to you?
72.5.
71.5. 71.5. Okay.
Yeah.
I found, by the way, DraftKings threw out another 50% parlay token. So I said, what the fuck? And took another $100 and threw it on that. And if that hits, it's plus 700 and change.
That must be nice. When you live in New York, you don't get those because New York legalized sports gambling, but taxes all the books 50%. So they give us nothing. We get fucking zilch.
You know what you do pathetic. Get? You get a councilman who shows his wiener to random women, and you get another smoke show councilwoman who insists on kicking out big businesses paying taxes like Amazon. That's what you get in New York for your money. Ha.
Do I? Yeah, that sounds right. Shit. Fuck. Damn, I need to move. All right, on to the London game, 9:30 in the morning Eastern time. It's the fucking Falcons at the Jaguars. Jaguars are favored by 3 with a total of 43. Listen, this game stinks. And if the NFL thinks that I'm going to wake up at 9:30 in the morning to watch this garbage, they are 100% correct, because I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be watching this game going, like, what am I doing in my life? Why do I have money on this game? I don't have anything on it right now. I'm probably going to pick the Jags. I think Atlanta is a phony team. This is like a sharp team that we've seen all year. Everybody loves Atlanta. It's so trendy. I've been against them since day one. I know they're 2-1, but Desmond Ridder can't throw the ball. The Jags can't. Their pass defense is atrocious, but the run defense is good. So if they can stop the run, I don't see how Ridder is going to be able to exploit the Jags secondary. It just seems like an ugly game to me. I'm predicting this game will fall like 20-9. Jags will win, and they're home away from home. But I don't have anything on it at the moment. What do you have?
Boy, I want to take the -3, but just something's up. I'm just not going to get cute. And when I want to get cute, I get hot. I'm going to go on the money line for the Jags and take them on the money line. And you say you want to get up at 9:30 to watch the game. Well, guess who's not getting up at 6:30 Vegas time to get to watch this game? Me. I will be very much sleeping and hungover, and I will be going to the pool at Circa that early morning with my friends, but not for a 6:30 game. I think the under could be a play. Jags 4 out of 4 in London have gone under. Favorites in international games, 29, 9-1 straight up, 25-14 against the spread. Falcons 3-8 against the spread of late. You hit all the key points. Plus, Well, what do we have here? We've got the Jags off an absolute disgusting, embarrassing divisional beatdown by the Texans. And I think this is, and they've been to London how many years in a row? This is nothing new. They're going to be here for 2 weeks. I think this is going to be, it could be a low scoring game. In fact, I'm going to write this down so I take it in Vegas so I can have a ticket in hand. But I'm doing the under and the Jags money line. There's nothing about Atlanta there's nothing that gets me tumescent about that game unless you were to streak on the field naked. That would get me very tumescent.
Ooh, I'll see if I can be there. On to the 1 o'clock games. We have the Miami Dolphins. My daddy, they just bend me over every week. Yes, I had fucking Denver plus 6.5 last week. Yes, I sucked that dick all day.
I
Dolphins
forgot one
at the Bills. Sorry,
that's all right. I forgot one point. I have Trevor Lawrence as a fantasy play for the week. Cold cash play Trevor Lawrence. Why? The Falcons allowed Jordan Love 3 points. Jared Goff 20 points. I think they're going to have a great matchup against his old team, Calvin Ridley. And I just think it's going to be probably a romp, but I just don't want to lay 3 for some dumb reason. I don't know why, but watch him come out and win, 2019. Who cares? That hits. Yeah. Under hits too, I would assume. So
yeah,
give me Trevor Lawrence and his cash price for that at $6,800. Same price as Jared Goff, but you're getting Trevor Lawrence instead. That's a lot better for play.
I love it. At 1 p.m. games, the Dolphins at the Bills. The Bills are laying 2.5 points with a total of 54. Going back to that trend I said earlier about the Packers, because they are also 3-0 against the spread. Dolphins 3-0 against the spread. Teams who are underdogs are, again, 4-13 against the spread, 24%. The Dolphins it's impossible not to be overvalued when you just drop 70. And what's kind of suspicious about this is all the money is coming in on Miami. And this line just kind of sits there at 2.5. It went to 3, then back to 2.5. And I'm like, why did it go back to 2.5 if all the money's on Miami? Here's the dirty little secret about Miami. Yes, they're amazing. Yes, they do all these things, but the Bills actually have a defense. The New England held them to 24, and I would say that the Bills have a better defense than New England. They lead the league in pressure rate. I think they lead the league in sacks. Tua hasn't been rushed all season. McDermott's defense, by the way, listen to these numbers. McDermott against Tua, because there's only been a few matchups here. In 3 starts, Tua has a 59 QBR, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions against McDermott. So McDermott kind of has this recipe, I think, to slow them down. I don't think he's going to stop them. I think they're too good at this point to be stopped, but I do think they can slow them down. And the Bills' offense is on fire right now. They're just destroying everybody. I think there's value on the 2.5. I took the 2.5, but since Miami is my daddy, I hate saying that out loud. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just when a team destroys you for 2 years, you just kind of have to admit it. I did tease Miami to 8.5 with the Seattle Seahawks getting 7.5 as a little insurance policy. So when inevitably the Dolphins fuck me again, at least I have the teaser action. So there we go. That's my plays. Bills minus 2.5, Miami teased to 8.5 with the Seattle Seahawks getting 7.5. What do you got on this?
Miami 6-0 against the spread their last 6, 4-1 straight up their last 5. They are 5-0 against the spread on the road, but 0-7 straight up in Buffalo of late. 1-9 even straight up their last 10. I think you make great points. And that's why I tease Miami to plus 8.5, because I'm a big pussy and I love safety nets. I don't see this game getting out of hand. I see this game being a 1-score game either way. I have no idea who wins. If you put a gun to my head, I would say Buffalo, and that's the slightest of leans. I tease Miami to 8.5 with the Dallas Cowboys. I absolutely refuse to think that they're going to do anything but come home and just beat the living hell out of Belichick. Not beat the hell out of Belichick. He's going to beat Belichick. I've got that to -1. All they need to do is win that game. You're going to tell me after Dallas got embarrassed against one of the bottom 3 teams in the league, they're going to come home and lose to the anemic, punchless, toothless New England Patriots offense who just beat the Jets. Whoop-de goddamn do. I think Corky from Life Goes On could beat the Jets right now. That's how bad I think that offense is. I think this is going to be a game. I mean, don't be surprised if it gets out of hand. I don't know. I'm not going to take a -7. That's dumb. So I teased them the -1, Miami plus 8.5. I also have Miami team total over 26.5 points. I think that game could get a little nuts with the points. So I got them at 26.5 over. That's a key number for me. 27 for everybody, not just me. I'm not that special. 27, 28 there. So 26.5. I got that at. That's what I have this game at. So those are the picks for this game.
Listen, if 27 is special to you, Kevin, it's okay. All right.
It actually is, because that's the number of championships the Yankees have won, and they've been stuck on that number for 14 years in a row.
Hard to complain to a Pirates fan. Next game, we have the Washington Communists at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are laying 9 with a total of 43. I mentioned that trend before. Since 2005, teams that are 3-0 against the spread when they're underdogs are 24%. Well, here, listen to this. When teams are 3-0 against the spread as favorites since 2015, 26-16 against the spread, 62%. However, since 2003, teams that have lost the previous game by 30 or more have gone 136, 108, and 8, 56% against the spread. So it kind of leans to Commanders plus 8.5. You are getting a little value with Commanders plus 8.5. I don't know if I'm there yet with Sam Howell and this team. So what I did, and I think you did this as well, I teased. This is teaser week, by the way. Here, you know what we can do? We should do a clip, Kevin. We can do a clip of all the teasers we have, because I have 6, I think, and you probably have the same. So we'll just put that. We'll read all of our teasers at the end, and we'll throw that up as a clip. How about that? You're welcome, internet. I teased Philadelphia to -2.5 with the Tennessee Titans getting 8.5. Mike Vrabel, we can get to that game in a bit, but is just amazing as a dog, a home dog especially. So getting those insurance 6 points up to 8.5. I love that. Burrow's still banged up, so I don't see them pulling away from anybody at the moment. I know that they won Monday night, but he didn't look good at all. That team really didn't look good. It was more
defense.
The Rams having a terrible game plan and kind of imploding. But the Rams had a touchdown call back. They had another one that was that Tutu Atwell dive from the 5. I don't know if you can say its heel went out. It looked kind of like there wasn't enough evidence to overturn that. But anyway, we're not on that game right now. So that's what I have for Philadelphia and Washington. What do you got?
I absolutely hate the Philadelphia Eagles for a multitude of reasons. Most of them are their fans. Their fans are. We all know that. We've gone on that.
What a dichotomy of just a beautiful, historic, lovely city. You're walking through. You're just seeing history and Ben Franklin and this, that, and the other. And then you turn the corner and there's a grown man in an Eagles jersey at 9:30 in the morning vomiting on the sidewalk,
saying "Go Birds" in between puking.
Go in bird. It's the fucking weirdest. You have this beautiful city filled with people who throw batteries at Santa Claus. Like what are you so angry about, dude? Like, just enjoy the history, you fucking mouth breathers.
Ain't that the truth?
Anyway, I think we probably share that opinion.
Very much so. I have Philadelphia in 1, 2, 3 teasers. 3. I have them teased with the Titans. I have the Eagles down to -2.5, the Titans to +9. I have them again down to -1 into the 7-pointer. I got them down. It was at 8-1 at one point. And I teased them with the Kansas City Chiefs to -2.5. Then I'm doing this now, but DraftKings has not let me bet because they're trying to check my location for the last 5 minutes.
Ugh.
Philly -2, Browns under 47.5. I'm thinking about actually pulling that and just doing what you did with the Cleveland under, Tampa Bay under, and I might do the Dallas under. I just don't see either team going nuts with the points in that game either.
Yeah, I took that under as well, but not as a teaser.
So I may just say, and then I also, of course, I'm going to do my Philly first half bet as well, money line, and then I'm going to do Philly when I'm in Vegas. I'm going to do Philly, KC, and Dallas. Sorry, no, Dallas. I should probably throw Philly in there. KC, Dallas, San Fran, and probably Philly on the old money line parlay. Because
there you go.
I just don't see any of those teams losing. I just don't. I said that last week, and I lost one of them. Oh, it was the The Jags. Those are the Jags.
Yeah, or Jags and Dallas both lost.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what.
But that's the thing about these. I mean, it's the NFL, so every week you're gonna have one of these teams probably lose. That's the thing I don't never really like. I would prefer to do a 2 to 3 leg parlay. That's why I like the underdog ones, because you just do them 2 leg ones. You don't have to worry about the third thing hitting. But yeah, I will say the Commanders did beat the Eagles last year in prime time with Taylor Heineke, but that game
make my case for me.
Eagles. Well, Eagles are playing so good, and they just had the regression to the mean with luck. I remember that game. Like, I think Philly outgained them. They just got turnovers at bad moments. So the Commanders have a puncher's chance. I mean, divisional dogs always have a puncher's chance. But I'm not laying the 9. We're just both doing the teasers with them down to 2.5, and you said 1 at one point too. Yeah. But the Eagles are up to 9 right now. So if you're going to tease them, make sure you go through the
7-point,
the 3. So you have to do a 7-pointer, which I'm not a huge fan of. But anyway, on to the next game. The Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina is getting 4.5 with a total of 46.5. This is a game that I'm going to credit my good friend Conrad Roth with a term that I'm so jealous of. We've been talking about it, the two of us as well. And it might not be politically correct, but I don't care at this point. The term is sharp-tard. And it's so beautiful because nowadays, like, there used to be like 7 sharps. Now you hear these, you're on Twitter, everybody's like, there's sharp action on this team. The Sharps love Atlanta plus 3.5 this week. There's so many teams that the Sharps evidently love. And I just look at it and I go, what are you talking about? This is one this week. Everybody's like, the Panthers. There's no way the real Sharps are on the Panthers. With Bryce Young, I know it's a 4-point home dog, a 4.5-point home dog, I know. But the Vikings have been amazing this year offensively. And if you think Bryce Young is going to be able to keep up with Kirk Cousins, you're out of your mind. Am I laying 4.5 on the road? No, because I don't do that. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, there's value on the Carolina Panthers plus 4.5. No, there's not. There's none. This game's going to be ugly. I hope I don't watch a second of it. 30-6 is what this game's going to end, but I'm still not betting it because I just don't lay that many points on the road. Anyway, you have anything on this one?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who gives a shit? That's what I say about this game. There's nothing about this game. There's no edge. There's no value. I don't care. Bryce Young. If it was Andy Dalton playing, yeah, I would be interested in this game.
Me too. Initially, I was like, hell yeah, let's get Dalton with some points.
Right.
No, can't do it with Brycey Wicey.
Bryce, isn't that a name you have as a kid and you regret instantly with your parents? Like Bryce, really?
It's just a soft name.
It sounds like you're the guy type of person who crisscrosses their sweaters over their chest and like an X formation. Yeah. Not a fan.
I live in Park Slope, Brooklyn. So there's a lot of those soft boys names. Like I know for someone who used to babysit a kid. Yeah, that's one. My neighbor's named Blair. Oh, but he's an older man. He's fine. He's a good dude, I guess. But there's a kid in my neighborhood that a friend of mine used to babysit. His name was Banjo. So just give me an idea of this stupid fucking names are in this neighborhood. So I mean, is Bryce as bad as Banjo? No, but it's in the same vicinity of
this is like where Dyfus needs to step in and kind of like with Gwyneth Paltrow's Apple Kid, like nope, yeah, we're swooping in. This is some bad foreshadowing, and we were not going to sit here and be privy to this.
Yeah, don't make your kid's name about you. Don't be like, I'm going to give my kid a weird name because I'm interesting. No, don't do that to your fucking kid.
Hey, Banjo, bluegrass, come on, it's dinner time.
Yeah, if every day of that kid's life they're gonna be like, "Hey, Banjo, do you play the banjo?" He's gonna have to learn how to play an instrument that kind of sucks because of his name. Like you did that to him,
right?
Anyway, we're getting off the rails here. We have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee's getting 2.5 points with a total of 40.5. I took Tennessee plus 2.5, and I teased Tennessee to 8.5. In Vrabel, we trust home dog. Love it. Not much else to talk about this. I covered it before when he talked about the other game. Burrow's bum leg. I don't trust Cincinnati to gain margin. And Titans off of a really bad, ugly loss. I think they'll be better. That's it.
Cincinnati 1-5-1 against their spread their last 7. 11-3 though straight up their last 14. Tennessee 1-9 straight up. 0-5 when playing at home against Cincinnati, and of late 1-4 against the spread at home. These numbers aren't boding well, but you just stole my point, but I expected that. Vrabel after a loss, and I was on that Titans +3. I should have abandoned ship and bought out of that bet. But Titans +9 and Philly -2.5. That defense is going to give Burrow fits. The one problem I have so far with the Titans, and I have him in my own eye leagues, is Derrick Henry has done absolutely nothing except for week 1. He had a touchdown, but he was completely bottled up last week. I mean, they ate his goddamn lunch. I think he got 2 points for me in fantasy. He needs to have his carries. They need to block, and they need to be able to at least sell the fact that Tannehill can complete a pass. And DeAndre Hopkins, man, how the mighty have fallen. He's only caught about 56% of the balls thrown his way. So I'm on this bet. There's no way in hell I would take them straight up with the, was it 3 or you said 2.5, 2, 3? What was the line?
2.5, yeah.
2.5. Yeah, no. Titans +9, Philly -2.5. Again, be a big old Harry Bush and tease it like we do.
Ravens at the Browns. Browns now laying 3 with a total of 45. This was my best bet of the year on Monday. I think it was Monday or Sunday.
Monday.
I looked down. FanDuel is hanging Browns -1.5. And I immediately go, dude, we're laying the lumber, right? 3-unit bet. Most bet money I put on a game this season so far is Browns -1.5. Now that it's at 3, I think you just look at it and just I don't know if I'd lay the 3, but I do love the Browns this game. We still have a lot of injuries on the Baltimore side of the ball, missing 7 to 8 key starters and backups. They're missing backups too. They might get some of their offensive line back, but the Browns defense is elite. They've only allowed 1 drive to enter the red zone this entire season, and the very next play there was a sack. And it resulted in 0 points for Titans last week. Ravens haven't been good. I think they've looked sloppy since week 1. They were outgained by Houston. I was on Houston +10. It didn't hit, but I felt like the handicap was kind of right on. But sometimes that's the way it happens. Lamar under pressure of 34 quarterbacks. He's ranked 32nd. So this is a team that puts pressure on. This is a team that stops the run. I don't see how Baltimore is going to be able to put points up on this defense. And on the other side, Baltimore's defense is not good to begin with, and they're injured. And Watson had his best game. I think that he can replicate that again, or at least be close to it. And I think that they just have talented running backs. I think they can run the ball. They have a great offensive line. I love this at -1.5. I can't believe FanDuel laid that. But at 3, it's a pass. At 3.5, 4, I guess you could start thinking Ravens because they have all of the trends that support them as a dog under Harbaugh. But I just think this Ravens team, I've been saying it since week 1, I have their under season wins at 10.5. I just think they're overrated. I don't think that they have, outside of Zay Flowers, I don't think they have anybody on offense that scares anybody. Mark Andrews is nice, but
but hey, do you want to date my friend? Well, what's she like? She's nice.
She's nice. She's fine.
Yeah.
Is she pretty? She's
nice. She's nice.
She's nice. Yeah. So that's Mark Andrews in a nutshell. I mean, he's good, but I mean, come on. Yeah, that's all I got. You're on this with me, I think, right?
I'm on
the lumber as well.
I'm on this like we're having a devil's triangle with a young lady. -1.5 is a steal. I can't believe that was out there, and thank you for texting me about that. Numbers for you though. Baltimore, they're 4-1 against the spread their last 5, 2-4 straight up though their last 6. They are 5-2 against the spread against Cleveland, 11 out of 14 straight up. Cleveland 3-12 their last 15 when playing at home against Baltimore. I think it's a different team. The Nick Chubb injury, as you were kind of alluding to, Derek, what am I saying? Deshaun Watson out of shotgun is getting a lot better looks and therefore being able to read defenses. I heard someone saying, I said that was a pretty smart thing. I wish I could give them credit for who said that, which is why he was able to pick apart Tennessee. Again, they do have a garbage secondary, but nonetheless, they think they're going to operate without the shotgun with him more so because, again, Chubb's not there. You have to set up in a single back formation. I think this game is, in fact, going to scream under 5 out of 7. Cleveland, the last 7 games have gone under, and also they're 5 out of the last 5 at home, 5 out of the last 7 against the Ravens. So this is also screams under, and I'm definitely going to hop on board with you on that under teaser for sure. And that's all I have on this.
Steelers at Texans. Texans are getting 2.5 points with a total of 42.5. This was a game that I circled immediately. I love to fade the Steelers on the road as a favorite. But Houston, O-line problems. They're going to have backups at both tackle positions. TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, both excellent pass rushers, obviously. I don't see this game having much value, especially at 2.5. Maybe you want to tease Houston to 8.5. That would be my play, and that's about it. I think the Steelers have a lot of trends that say avoid them as road favorites, and I think I agree with that to an extent. But I think those are under Roethlisberger, and Roethlisberger was a quarterback of veteran teams who would play up against everybody and then play down against weak opponents. This team's different. It's young guys. I don't know if that same through line is there. I feel like the Steelers are a team that there's no resting on laurels because they're not playing well. So I don't see them going into Houston all laissez-faire like, oh, we're going to crush them. Goff just threw a terrible interception, by the way. This might be a pick 6. Nope, down at the 20. Green Bay, baby, plus 8.5.
Let's go. I got Aaron Jones and Christian Watson. Finally, both of them in my league. I have 3 leagues. I have Watson, I think 2 or 3 of them. So let's get him in them.
But as a Steelers fan, I say avoid this. If you really want to play this game, I would just tease the Texans to 8.5. I wouldn't take them at plus 2.5. Rookie quarterback versus a real defense for the first time. It could get ugly. What do you think?
I don't care. Another knock who gives a shit game for me. I do like Nico Collins or Nathaniel Dell. Collins has at least 2 games this year with 14 PPR points, 20.2 for Nathaniel Dell in his last 2. Steelers allowed Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. By the way, Jacoby Myers, he plays hardball. That's a joke if you live in the New York area. To score, they allowed him to score each 15.5 points in week 3. 4 receivers have already been above that total against Pittsburgh in 3 games. Nico Collins is a fantasy play for me. And what does he cost? Oh, I can tell you that answer right now. He cost $5,100.
What about Tank Dell?
Tank Dell costs.
How much is this guy?
$4,600. Wow.
As a Steelers fan, that worries me because 1, he's fast. 2, our Levi Wallace is our second corner.
Are you kidding me? Hutchinson just got a sack.
Man. We were throwing this around before the game started. His fucking over was like 0.25 sacks. And we're like, but the Green Bay's missing 2 lines. Sometimes you outsmart yourself. You know what I mean? Like you see a line and it's fishy and you're like, I don't know about that. Because that just seems so obvious, and we would have just cashed.
We cashed in 2 minutes.
We are a minute and 45 seconds of this game. We would have cashed a bet, and we just didn't do it.
Oh,
anyway, lesson learned. Yeah, Tank Dell could be a problem for the Steelers. Levi Wallace is a decent corner, but he lets up a lot of yards. Last week he had 2 interceptions, but he allowed like 9 receptions for like 106 yards. So. I could see Dell having a good day as well. Mm-hmm. Now we are on to our next game, which is the Rams at Colts. Colts are getting 1 at home with a total of 46. I took the Rams plus 1. I think this is kind of like one of those games that Colts coming off of a win got over their head, in celebrations, and now Richardson's coming back. I think he's a downgrade. Rams quarterback edge is definitely going to be here. They had a primetime primetime performance that was pitiful, and I usually like to support teams the following week after they lost ugly in primetime. McVay just had a bad night. I don't think he had a good game plan. I don't know what was going on, but the Rams have outgained opponents by 83 yards a game, and the Colts have been outgained in every single game they played this year. Rams have a negative turnover margin, and the Action Network puts out luck rankings. Which are fascinating because these luck metrics are hitting at like 63%, I think, or 60% historically. Mm-hmm. And what they do is they stack rank the luckiest teams versus the unluckiest teams, and whenever there's a differential of like 20 between lucky and unlucky, it hits at a 60% rate if you take the team that's been unlucky. Well, the Rams have been incredibly unlucky this season, and the Colts have been very lucky this season. So kudos to Action Network. McVay off of a loss, 21-12-3 against the spread, off of a road loss, off of a loss on the road, 11-5 against the spread, and as a dog, 9-2 against the spread. I like the Rams in a dome too. I like them on turf. I think Tutu Atwell and Puka, whatever his name is, are both very fast players. Yeah, I think that you could see some deep shots by Stafford. One concern is the offensive line. And the Colts' pass rush has been better than expected. Hopefully, McVay kind of figures that part out this time around. But Rams +1 also teased the Rams to 7.5 with Green Bay. I already mentioned that one before.
Rams are 21-13-4 against the spread. Did you mention that, or am I just repeating you?
Nope, I didn't get that one.
Rams also, though, 1-5 against the spread their last 6 in October, 0-4-1 against the spread their last 5 games played in week 4. 6-2-1 of late, though. Colts 3-6 against the spread their last 9, 0-6 straight up their last 6 at home. Fantasy play time, Puka Nacua. Now imagine if you took Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell. You took Puku and Tutu. That is a great Hawaiian gay porn star name, right? Right. I love that. Nakua, $6,700 bucks.
Racial slur. Them goddamn Puku and Tutus taking our jobs.
Then listen, we saw Jamar Chase go ballistic against this short-rested Rams defense. Now I think the same is going to happen this week. To get on Puka Nacua. This is the last week, by the way, that you're going to have these guys' names mentioned. Why? Because Cooper Kupp is supposed to come back next week. So party's over. Might as well give that last beer in for the road. I also teased the Rams. I have the Rams catching 7.5 with the Ravens +8.5. Those the AFC Division North games. I mean, every single year, if we're betting them straight, as soon as someone goes 3.5, we automatically take the opposite team. Same goes here. I think Baltimore is going to keep it close. I think more than a touchdown is insanely, unlikely. Excuse me. So the Ravens +8.5, Rams +7.5. That's the teaser I have.
By the way, it's a beautiful thing when the sirens come by and ruin your podcast. It's a beautiful thing when the opening team throws an interception. The team gets the ball inside the red zone, and it's only 3-0 when you have the under. And the back.
I know.
Fucking lovely.
And you have that exactly. You have the team catching points, and you got all right. Field goal's good. Now we're definitely over double-digit lead. Yes.
Next game, we have a divisional rivalry. The Bucks at the Saints. The Saints are somehow laying 3.5 points with a total of 39.5. I just auto bet Tampa Bay +3.5. I don't get this line. I know Tampa Bay kind of maybe was exposed, but the Eagles are a legit good team. The Saints, I like the Saints. I have their over on the season wins, but it was purely a strength of schedule bet, along with Derek Carr being the better quarterback than any of the quarterbacks he was playing more often than not this season. However, Derek Carr is injured, and now we have turnover Winston and road divisional dogs in the past 2 seasons. If you just blindly bet them, 35-16 against the spread. Tampa Bay +3.5. Maybe I'm missing something, but it just seemed like an obvious play to me.
I have a fantasy play. I don't have any action in the game. I don't know about Jameis Winston yet, and Tampa Bay, I don't know. I do know the under is going to be, like I said, teased with you on that. Mike Evans is awful against the Saints. Marshawn Lattimore just spanks the living piss out of him.
All right.
He has posted in 10 games against Lattimore. He scored over 12-point PPR 1 time. He has scored in single digits in PPR 5 out of their last 10 games he's played. He has more than 64 yards only twice. You realize how hard it is for me to sit Mike Evans, who's had monster weeks from weeks 1 through 3. I sat him this week in my league. I just couldn't pull the trigger because, again, as soon as I saw, oh, my God, that's right. Lattimore eats his fucking lunch. I'm not doing that.
We should be looking into some props for him, under receptions, under yards.
Let's write that down.
Yes, please do.
Write that down.
And thank you for reminding me this next game, by the way. We talked about it earlier. I wasn't sure I was on it, and then I decided I was on it. Anyway, we were at the Broncos at the Bears. Bears are catching 3, total of 46.5. It just went up to a 46.5 right after I hit it at 46. You have the logic here. I'm going along with you, but the over 46, let me know. What is it?
Where did I put this? Oh, good God. Did I even cut?
To start with, Denver Broncos defense is atrocious.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, over Denver, 7 out of the last 8 have gone over. The over's gone over in Chicago's 11 out of last 14 games. It's got to be now or never. I mean, look, Denver hung out there with, they put up 20 last week after getting bombed for 70. But hold on a second. Who's this? Is that Sam Laporta? It sure is.
I think I'm behind.
Okay. Yeah, I have Sam Laporta in my daily fantasy. I have him picked up there.
That's an issue, by the way, that we all have now with all the streaming and all the stuff, is how many times have you texted me? I've texted you. You're like, you'll text me Yahtzee after like a big play. And I'm like, wait, what happened? Now I'm just seeing this. Beautiful. I wish I took his yards and not his receptions. Now we need 4 more. But beautiful. I'm glad he's a huge part of this. What made me jump on that single game parlay is I heard Mike Lombardi talking on the Lombardi line on VSiN, and he just talked about how this tight end is such a big part of the offense.
St. Brown.
Hey, we have his yards, baby.
I know. How much?
Not great for the over, but
no. What did that go? I'm waiting for that. Wow, I'm waiting for the update on that one here. Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you know.
Yeah, we're just in there live commentating this game. It's probably terrible
24 yards. 24 yards. We're a third of the way home.
Beautiful. Broncos at Bears +3, total of 46.5. The play we put in was over 46. These teams are both 0-3 against the spread. They're easily the 2 worst teams in the league. One thing they both have in common is they have atrocious defenses. The Broncos have actually moved the ball relatively well. Even last week, watching that game, I don't know how many times they just had terrible turnovers, terrible fumbles, but I think Broncos can move the ball and put up points on the Bears. I do not trust them to cover a spread at all. The Bears can run with Fields, and obviously we saw last week what happens when a fast athlete runs against the Broncos. They drop a 70 burger. Am I saying the Bears are going to put up anywhere near that? No, of course not. But 46 points is not that many points. This could easily be 27-28 type game. So that's my logic. Do you have more numbers on that?
Nope.
Cool. On to the 4:00 game. We have the Raiders at the Chargers. Chargers are 5.5-point favorites with a total of 48.5. Man, every instinct in my being is saying you take the divisional dog here. Mentioned before, 35-16 against the spread divisional dogs. I don't know who's playing quarterback, and there's this rumor that fucking Brian Hoyer might play. And I just think there's that Aiden O'Connell kid who looked really good in the preseason. If he plays, I like that element of surprise. I like how much of a mess the Chargers are. I would definitely jump on Raiders +5.5. But at this point, I don't know who's playing quarterback. It's a pass for me. I don't trust the Chargers. I don't trust the Raiders.
I do. I trust Justin Herbert to throw for a ton. $7,800, as I said before, in FanDuel. DraftKings daily fantasy. I have the Chargers team total over 26.5 points. I want you to tell me why the Raiders can stop anybody.
They can. I mean, they made Kenny Pickett look like a competent quarterback. By the way, I have Justin Herbert as a future to lead the league in passing. So this week.
Excellent.
Going to the next one, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are laying 14 points with a total of 44. And the past 5 seasons, favorites of 14 or more points have gone 49-7 straight up. That's 89%, which is hence the reason why you might want to money line parlay these Niners. You mentioned it before, because against the spread, that number plummets to 24-30 and to 44%. I've been on the Cardinals all year. I like them. I like their effort. This might be a time where they're not going to surprise anybody. They just beat the Cowboys last week, so the 49ers are going to be aware of the upset alert. I got to just stay away from this point. Lean Cards getting the 14. Can't do it.
If this got to 14.5, I'd be mildly interested, but no thanks.
I did see it at 14.5 in some places earlier this week. I don't know if it's still there now.
Still?
But DraftKings had it at 14 when I looked right before this, so I didn't look at all the other books. I used the DraftKings lines
14 right. It's 14 right now.
Next one, Patriots at the Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 6.5 points with a total of 43.5. This is a sneaky game for me. I mean, it's I like the under 43.5. I took that. I also lean the Patriots in one of our pools that were in. They had them laying 7 in our Dr. Evil contest. You pick 7 games against the spread. It's our version of a super contest, except for 7 instead of 5. I did take the Patriots +7. Dallas's defense is allowing 5.2 yards per rush. It's the 3rd worst in the league. I think the Patriots can run the ball and keep it close and keep it low scoring. McCarthy against Belichick seems like a coaching mismatch, but the Cowboys off of a loss, I see them being focused. I don't know how good the Cowboys will be against this New England defense. I think the New England defense is good, but Mac Jones is atrocious. Mom hips Mac Jones. We talked about him last week. Don't like him. Don't think he's good at football. But that's all I got on this one. What do you have?
I said before, and there's another sack for the Lions, not for Hutchinson, though. We have, I said before, I have Dallas teased down to -1. I just don't see it. I think that I know the Belichick does not want to go 1-3, but I don't see as bad as McCarthy is. They're just going to completely answer the bell this week after getting embarrassed and losing me money at home against Patriots. Yeah, they lost in Arizona last week. That's what I'm trying to thumper out of here and get that right. Let's see. Do I have any numbers? Yes, I do. Pats 1-6 against the spread their last 7, 2-5 straight up. Dallas 4-2 straight up when they're playing the last 6 against New England. And by the way, that's with Brady when Brady was there as well. So what does that tell you? They play well there. Dallas 8-1 against the spread at home in October. They are 4-10 against the spread in week 14, their last 14 games. And the Pats 6-1 against the spread their last 7 played in October. I don't care. I took the Dallas down to -1. All they have to do is win, and I think they'll do that just fine.
Chiefs at the New York Jets. Sunday night, Jets are getting 9 points, so a total of 41.5. Yeah, if it got to 10, I might consider the Jets, but even then, I would probably need 10.5 to pull the trigger. The Chiefs don't cover these games, but the Jets are so terrible on offense. They're at the risk of losing the locker room now. And I don't know if Trevor Siemian is going to be ready to play. So if they decide to bench Zach Wilson, it's Tim Boyle, who, by the way, I don't even know how this guy's in the league. I don't know whose nephew this guy is. This guy, if you look at his college stat, I've been fading this guy in the preseason. This is why I know this for so long. He actually did pretty well this past preseason, and it actually kind of screwed me. But in the preseason, he's terrible usually. But anyway, this guy went to 2 different colleges. I think he had more interceptions than touchdowns in college. He had like 53%. Like, there's no rhyme or reason why this guy's in the pros. Like, he has to be someone's nephew. I have no idea. So I don't like anything about this Jets team besides their defense. But the Chiefs, I don't know. Taylor Swift's going to be there. Everybody's talking about that. I kind of just don't have a big opinion on this game.
I would rather trust my daughter on Epstein Island unaccompanied than trust the New York Jets. I don't care. I have the Chiefs teased down to -2.5. I have them part of a money line parlay. There's nothing about this game. Nothing. They're dead man walking, and the Chiefs are just going to, if they don't butt fuck them senseless, they should be looking like a raw hamburger by the time that this game is over. Am I laying 9.5? Of course I'm not. I'm a big baby. I'm not going to do that. -2.5, and I'm also going to put in part of that money line parlay, and I'm also going to buy into the Taylor Swift hype and bet anytime touchdown for Kelsey, because even Mahomes said in the post game last week, I felt pressure to get him the touchdown to appease the fans. By the way, jersey sales for Kelsey up 400%. Fun fact.
All right. Never thought
Dynamite drop it, Monty.
Yeah, I never thought Taylor Swift would ever make it into a handicap.
The funniest part,
I've never heard of another handicap. It's like he's going to score because he's trying to impress a girl.
No. The funniest,
there's logic to it. There's logic to it. Anyway, what?
The funniest meme I saw was, it says Travis Kelce is catching 6s on and off the field. Taylor Swift, hot or not? What do you think?
Well, listen, if she was a guy, she would be hot because any guy who's average looking who is just immensely successful is hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's of course she's attractive. She's tall. She's pretty. Do I look at her and think, wow, what a hottie? No, but I'm not a big celebrity worship guy. I don't have a lot of celebrity crushes. I don't have it's not my thing. Yeah, she's fine. She's pretty. She's very talented. Singer songwriter. She writes her music.
It's like she's like an average.
Pretty.
She's hot for a barista. What it sounds like coming out of you.
Kinda though. Like she's not like she's not like
Emily Ratajkowski.
Yeah, like these
All right.
some of these women are just smoke shows. She's beyond just her looks though, because she's so talented. So she makes up for it with immense talent.
Do you want to get a laugh about how bad this Taylor Swift hype is? Travis Kelce anytime touchdown on FanDuel. What do you think it's going for?
Plus 125,
minus 145.
The Swifties came in and pounded it.
Oh my god! I want to look at
this. Is great. We're gonna get Taylor Swift fans into fucking sports betting. I love it.
I want to see what the DraftKings number is for that one, but I do have numbers for you on Mike Evans if you care, catches and yards.
Yeah, what we got here?
We've got 4.5 under catches minus 110 and under 59.5 receiving yards at minus 130. That's DraftKings.
Say that last one again.
Under 59.5 receiving yards.
59.5.
Minus 130 on DraftKings.
Juice on the under. Everybody's on the same idea. Probably still worth it. I wonder if you can do those alt line single game parlays, like alt line. No, because they're fucking picky about that shit. You can't alt line the unders. You can't go like under 70 yards receiving. It's only overs. It's fucking ridiculous.
Kelce,
anyway,
135 for Kelce on DraftKings, minus 135 for anytime.
Jesus Christ. It's like LT in his prime, like fucking LaDainian Tomlinson, scoring like 30 touchdowns a year. Monday Night Football, the Seattle Seahawks at your New York Giants. The New York Giants are back to being a dog again, +1 with a total of 47. I mentioned before, this is one I teased both sides of. Let me find the teaser with the Giants. I teased the Giants with the Miami Dolphins, and I also teased the Seahawks for the Miami Dolphins when they were both getting 1.5 points, or 1 point. I'm sorry, they're both getting 1 point. I did 6.5 point teasers to make sure that I got above the 7. I think the Giants probably win this game. I don't like when these favorites go back and forth, but I will, like I did last week, I teased 2 teams, the Chargers and the Vikings, and the Steelers and the Raiders, both ways. One of them was the favorite, the other one was the dog. I teased the dog. When they switched back, I teased the other dog, and I hit both of those. So there was 4 teasers that came through for me, teasing both sides up. This is another one that just seems like a close game. Geno Smith revenge game. I don't know.
He was back up for a hot 45 seconds. By the way, what is how dumb is that?
He took over Eli Manning's fucking he destroyed the streak.
No, that was not him. That was Bob McAdoo. Yeah. Ben McAdoo, excuse me. You're going to bench Eli for him? Bench him for the kids. Yeah, the third stringer. I forgot his name, was long gone, by the way. And wide open is another Detroit receiver. Boy, Green Bay, you are just not doing your job. Seattle of late, 3-9 against the spread, 4-2 straight up of late, though. They're Seattle 5-1 their last 6 against the Giants. That doesn't mean anything. Giants 1-4 their last 5 against the spread. Dayball is something 7-1-1. I believe I told you he was after a loss. I'm going to take the Giants on the money line in Vegas. That's we're gonna wait to put that bet in person. I also have though. I'm no dummy. I couldn't even, you said, when's the last time the Giants boost somebody out? And I thought. And I said, I can't think of anybody. I really could, without even looking at my phone. I said, let me Google. I said, nah, I'm not going to do that. Just going to look it up as an exercise mentally. Couldn't think of anybody they've blown out in the X amount of last years. They just don't do that. So the Seattle Seahawks tease for me with the, where are you? Green Bay Packers +7.5. That's what I have.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Cool. So let's just do a recap and let's do our teasers. Because this is a teaser week, baby. Teaser week, we got for me anyway, the Miami Dolphins and the New York Giants to +8.5, +7.5 respectively. Tennessee and Philadelphia +8.5 and -2.5. Miami and Seattle +8.5, +7.5. Those are both the Miami teasers are both 6.5 points. No, they're not. They're 6 points. The Green Bay and Rams +8 and +7.5. And then I have that wonky Detroit, Green Bay, Baltimore, Cleveland, Tampa Bay, New Orleans 7-point teaser under the totals of 52.5, 47.5, and 47.5. So that's 5 teasers I have this week. How many teasers do you have?
I have the Tennessee Titans to +9, Philly -2.5. I have Dallas -1, Miami +8.5. I have Seattle +8, Green Bay +7.5. I have Philly -1, Kansas City -2.5. I have the Ravens +8.5 and the Rams +7.5. I think I'm going to do your Cleveland under, Dallas under, and Tampa Bay under teaser as well. That's all I have right now in the teaser department. So that's about 5.
Yeah, we both have 5. So 10 teasers between the two of us. To just recap, is Jared Goff going to score this touchdown? No. My sides for week 4, Browns -1.5. I know that line is gone, but I'm just telling you for grading purposes. Bills -2.5, Titans +2.5, Bucks +3.5. The 5 teasers I mentioned, and then total, the Green Bay Detroit under 46, Dallas New England under 43.5, Baltimore Cleveland under 40.5. Denver, Chicago over 46, and the teaser with the totals I mentioned earlier. I did moneyline parlay or moneyline bet the Rams, and then I did a moneyline parlay with the Rams and the Browns is my de facto underdog parlay. I know they're not underdogs, but I didn't really like any of the dogs, so I took the 2 small favorites as a money dog parlay. That's what I have for action this week. Not nearly as many bets, but I bet you, like last week, we'll put in a shitload of props Sunday morning like we did. Props are beautiful. The last couple weeks, man. Let me look.
Montgomery touchdown. Oh.
I went 8-5 with props last week, and the week before that, I went 5-2 with props. So I'm digging the props.
I have Cleveland -1.5, the Broncos over 45.5. I have the Miami team total over 26.5, Chargers team total over 26.5, Detroit under 45.5. I will be betting Jacksonville money line. I will be betting Jacksonville under for the game. I will be betting Philly first half money line. And like you said, those props will be coming in fast and furiously, and hopefully they're going to offset this eventual loss we're going to have with the Detroit under tonight. Good news, though, is Montgomery scored, and I have him over 6.5 touchdowns for the year. He has 3 in 4 games. So
does he change his number every game? Is he number 5 now?
I believe he was.
I thought he was number 8 before. Maybe I'm just high.
Sure.
Yeah. 14-3. Wow, this under's not looking great.
No,
but that's enough from us this week. Hey, follow me on Twitter because I posted the Cleveland Browns -1.5 as soon as I bet it for people who follow me, which is not that many because I delete Twitter every year in between football season because I hate it. But during football season is an essential tool. If I get enough followers this year, I will just hold on to the account and not delete it. But I posted all these the getting the best of the number, all the bets. You can criticize me for doing it on the podcast for telling you the old number, but follow me on Twitter and you'll get the right number when I bet it on Monday and Sunday when I do the pre week 4, week 5, whatever it'll be next week, week 5 bets, the look aheads. There's always a couple things. Last week, in week 3, the majority of the sides that I hit were all games that I bet early and I got the best of the number. So that's just such an important aspect of this is getting the best of the number. You can't beat it. And follow me on Twitter at Nick Whitmer.
At Kevin Gootee, but you also want to take a listen to Fantasy Football Jibber Jabber every single week and follow us on the socials at Fantasy Jibber. Gutting the Sacred Cow. Let's also make sure that we're on to that fantastic podcast. This week's episode, as you hear this, is old school. Next week's episode is Singing in the Rain. Upcoming episodes that we are taping. Oh, get ready for this, Nick Whitmer. Goodfellas. Rudy. Oh, they are just these statues metaphorically are just falling non-stop. So guttingthesacredcow.com and GTSC podcast on Twitter. Check us out. Thanks for listening. We appreciate the numbers have just spiked to all hell this week. I'm very happy what's going on. I can't explain it. Thank you, algorithm. I don't know what's going on, but you can do no fault in my eyes.
Yeah, maybe. Follow the podcast or like the podcast, review the podcast, give us 5 stars, write a review. If you have any questions for us, leave them in the review as the question, and we'll answer those questions the following week. And just, stay on top of us. We're out here doing shit.
Yeah, and you'll probably see some drunken posts from me in Vegas. And
hey, when are you coming back, by the way?
I come back Tuesday evening.
Oh, yeah, so you're going to be Monday night football in Las Vegas.
Would you like to know
plans for?
But of course, Sunday will be at the Circa Sportsbook in the pools. If you've ever been out there, it's fantastic. If you haven't, let me explain what it is for you. It is 7 or 8 massive video boards. I mean, long as shit, as you're in the pool watching games all day, getting drunk. What more could you ask for? Except standing awesome. Isn't it? Except standing waist high in your own piss as well as others' piss. But nonetheless, a great day. Monday night, I am eating at Jean-Georges Steakhouse after the Giant game is over, and that is a fantastic steakhouse. Get the Japanese old-fashioned and the grilled octopus as an appetizer, and then tell them Kevin sent you, and they'll say, well, who the hell is that? You say, from Fantasy Football Jibber Jabber, God damn it. That's what's up.
I love this. I hope the Giants destroy them. Well, not destroy them because we have the Seattle teased up.
Yeah.
I hope the Giants win
by 7, baby.
Yeah, I hope they win by 7, and I hope you get your money line bet, and I hope you go to Jean-Georges Steakhouse and just pay for the meal and free money and just enjoy yourself.
That's happened before. I go, guys, it was a good day.
I'll be here changing diapers and wearing shirts that have milk stains on them.
Perfect. Kevin Gootee, Nick Whitmer, we'll see you at the window.